let's start off with these Houston Texans. Traded Laramie Tunzel. Let's start right there because that was kind of the big move, the shocking move. Derek, trade the star left tackle. How you feel about that?
So yeah, the Houston Texans offensive line was abysmal last year, to say the least. Right? They couldn't protect. They couldn't get any rhythm going. They couldn't let C.J. Stroud develop, get it to his reads, and it really showed. So what do we do in the offseason, guys? Let's trade away our best guy. So oh, aside from being known for his infamous gas mask, he's been really good. He's been
Heard that?
Yeah,
solid ever since he came
Yeah,
into the league.
yeah.
Um, but they did trade him for some pretty good capital, right? They traded him for a third round pick and the next year a second round pick. And they also did address it in the second round of the draft. They got Arante Isuri out of
Yep,
Minnesota, offensive
yep.
tackle. So and he looks rock solid. If you are going to kind of blow it up, so to speak, uh, get the best capital you can and build through the draft, and that's the best thing to do.
Right.
yeah. And last year they drafted Blake Fisher out of Notre Dame, so they still have tackles. They've been drafting tackles, and hopefully that's the plan: is you draft them, then you develop. But this year they got Trent Brown at right tackle, Lincoln Tomlinson at left guard. There's a reason why these guys are available. I don't know. The offensive line might be the same, which is not great, but it
Well,
could
they
be
also got
young.
Cam
If
Robinson.
Yeah, it could be young at this point, and it could be younger, which is upside out. It's weird. It's I think it's different, so we're kind of already saying, oh, it's better, but it might just be different in a bad way. Like it just might be like the same quality of offensive line. Because
I think.
there's who's the best offensive lineman that they have now? Do we even know?
Well, I think that's the point.
Probably Cam
I
Robinson.
think it was. I think it was just about building the unit. Like, let's raise the floor of this room and build some continuity and just kind of just throw a bunch of depth at it and try to figure it out. With the new offensive coordinator and kind of how he likes to how he likes to play, they're going to be a focal point of this offense and how they specifically run the ball in the zone scheme. So it should be an interesting kind of confluence of all these different factors coming
Yeah,
together. But
yeah,
Trent
and
Brown, Cam Robinson, Laken Tomlinson, the new rookie, Fisher from last year, you have a good group here. And
Good
let's like,
foundation.
yeah, I think you have a good foundation. I think also too, it's something to be said. Like D'Amico Ryans did this because the chemistry was bad in the room. The room was toxic. The room wasn't working for whatever reason. And maybe it's not fair that Laramie Tunzel was a scapegoat for that. But I think continuity, especially on the offensive line, and just that unit being together and like everyone be on the same page with the head coach and the rest of the offense, I think could go a long way. And I think that's kind of what they're going for here.
any is it like weird that we always praise Larry Tunzel? I'll be on the Texas side for a little bit. We praise Larry Tunzel for being a great left tackle, but he's always been on a bad offensive line. Isn't that like weird? Isn't that like, does it really make sense? Like, oh, he's a great left tackle, but the line is not great. I mean, maybe, and last year he wasn't great, and I don't know. And there's the character issues. Now I'm starting to think like Mary Tunzel's not as great as I thought, but I don't know. I'm mixed. I gotta see it. I gotta see what they concoct by week one.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with it. I think you know what I think that my thing is I trust D'Amico Ryans enough to like let me see if this works. Let me see what he's doing. Let me let this cook a little bit and see if he can fix this room, which has been really the one of the few like weak points of this team in the CJ Stroud era. They drafted some weapons. They had Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. That's a good time, of course, and they of course signed Christian Kirk.
Yeah,
Brought in Ed Ingram. I think they made some quality additions.
yeah. They
I'm excited for those receivers. Honestly, you get rid of Diggs. Well, not you get rid of, but you let Diggs goes away in free agency. You lose Tank Dell to another like season-ending injury, broken leg. And then you saw what you kind of had last year because Nico Collins was also hurt, right? So you had like guys like John Mechie, who's still recovering. Not, I don't know if he's still recovering, but he hasn't been the same player he has been or he was at Alabama, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we've
So
been waiting
those
for the
two
Mechie
those two guys
breakout.
are pretty good, and you
Yeah.
pair them up with Nico Collins, I think they're gonna have a pretty good attack.
I'm holding off my dear life right here, boys.
No, yeah,
Just
no. They just redid their entire wideout room, which is nice because last year you saw the lack of depth. So yeah, they put two draft picks into it. Christian Kirk is always a solid wideout. And then Nico Collins, when Nico Collins is on, he's up there with the best wideouts in football. He's a great wideout. So yeah, this is the part. One of their strengths is offensive playmakers, especially at wideout. Running back's
Eh,
still different. The Joe Mixon thing gives me the ick, dude. I don't know. He's been
yeah,
in the boot all summer. Now he's on pup. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's if I'm the Texans, I'm scared shitless about that situation because all you have behind them is Nick Chubb or the ghost of Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
And I mean, what else? Is Damian Pierce
Damian
still on the
Pierce,
team?
God.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah.
Drafting
Yeah,
him.
I don't want to talk about
Jesus.
Damian Pierce. He's like a
It's just
toxic.
there's not much back there. And it's such a step down from what Joe Mixon gave them last year. He was
Yeah.
super solid. And then, they signed him. Didn't they sign him for an extension?
Yeah, as soon as they traded for him, they signed him extension. So they're
Yeah.
for money.
He did have a
they're
good year
money on
though last year.
He had a great year. Yeah.
Yeah.
him.
He had a great year, kind of a stronger first half than the second half, but he was pretty consistent and he was always there for them when they need him. Offensive coordinator change, I think, could be the thing here that might shift the room the most. Nick Cali in, Bobby Slowick out.
What a time.
From what I've read, Bobby Slowick, and by the way, Ainge, I do read, Bobby Slowick didn't adjust well. He didn't really have any other tricks beside everything he emptied the shelf with in Stroud's first year. CJ Stroud didn't have control of the line of scrimmage. And so maybe you see a lot of things change, and that might be the actual biggest change they made in the offseason.
Yeah, it was crazy how you can go from head coach candidate to passing game coordinator for the Dolphins in 1 year. Like, just blink of an eye. That's what Slowick is. He's really holding clipboards for Mike McDaniel's offensive coordinator. Not even Mike McDaniel. No, it's that playbook last year. I watched a lot of Stroud games. It's very obvious. Run on first down, over route to Nico Collins, and a dump off to the flat to Dalton Schultz. That's all they had. That's why
apparently he was known for like running it a lot on second and long.
Yeah,
that was like his go-to.
He wanted that to be
trick him here.
Yeah. They'll never see it coming.
Nick Cali, though, is supposed to be known for the zone, like a zone gap kind of like mixture in the run game. He has been known for adjusting well to different personnel, which is something that, you want, I think, in any offensive coordinator, any coordinator period. I think that's the biggest strength. But the biggest thing he's talked about in this offseason is giving CJ Stroud control at the line of scrimmage, allowing him to check coverages, allowing him to check protections, and kind of letting CJ Stroud take that next step as a field general. And so I think it's a good fit. And I think you can't really make a judgment until we see how it works. I mean, what do you think, Derek?
Honestly, that's what I want to say. I want to hold my breath to make a judgment because another Rams coordinator that got hired to be an OC and sucked was Shane Waldron.
Oh yes, yep.
So he was the Seahawks OC, and then he became the Bears OC last year. And do you remember what the Bears did last year?
Yep.
They had first and goal, and they ran fullback draw, and then he
fumbled. That's how you do it.
Like, it was so bad. Like, he is so bad. So McVay has a huge control of that offense. You just kind of wonder what are the guys underneath him like? Are they used to that control? Are they really used to that changing that personnel?
Right.
Or is that really McVay? So I'm not gonna make a judgment here because we haven't seen anything. But I would be cautious about getting those Rams coordinators.
Joey, what's the barometer? 1 to 10. Panic meter on CJ Stroud. I'm at a 1, 2. We're so young into his career.
1 being
like
the least amount panic.
Yeah, and then 10 being like we're done with him.
Oh no, I got a lot of confidence in CJ Stroud still.
Yeah,
I got a lot of confidence.
I think he's good. I think he's got all the tools, honestly.
Yeah.
I think last year was such a shit show that it's almost like he was trying his best, but there was nothing. There was no line. Weapons were out. I have so much faith in him still.
I think he was like the 5th most sacked quarterback in the league last year.
Yeah.
He lost his number 1, 2, and 3 wide receivers. It was kind of a mess. And then you had the whole, Bobby Slowick thing. I just think, I don't know. I think I think people gave him like an unfair expectation in going into his second year, which I'm hoping doesn't happen with Jaden Daniels as well. Like, people were expecting him, certain people on this show were expecting him to just make the Houston Texans a Super Bowl contender in the second year. And that's just, for the most part, not how the NFL works. You have to go through your lumps. Bad things happen to your team. And I mean, I think just I put very little on him. He definitely needs to clean up the interceptions and hopefully not develop any bad habits when it comes to dealing with pressure. And you saw the feet get kind of sloppy last year. But I have a lot of confidence in CJ Stroud. I'm not tripping at all.
I think part of his success and the expectations that came with it is because the first year they really brought him along slowly. Remember, like that they weren't dangerous passes. They were more
Right.
like check downs, very controlled the game, run game, very structured. And then the second year, you just didn't see that. It was like, hey,
Right.
CJ, let's make a play, and that's where you saw like the inconsistency.
Yeah.
Defense last year though was lights out, man. Lowest completion percentage allowed, 58.8, and I think they got better. Derek Stingley, Kamari Lassiter ranked 1 and 2 in completion percentage against. That is fantastic because one of those guys is a freaking rookie, and the other one I think was still in a rookie contract. And so, like, that's amazing to see. Bullock was also a rookie. He'll get better. Add Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to that. Add Jalen Petrie back to that. And I think this secondary might be the best in the NFL. Also, throw in second most interceptions in the NFL last year as well. The secondary is going to be lights out. I think even more so than we were last year.
Yeah, it's their best strength on the whole team is that defensive back room. It's so deep. CJ Gardner-Johnson can just do everything. Play nickel, play deep safety, play strong safety. They add him to a bunch of lockdown corners. This is a real versatile front that maybe now if Stroud struggles out the gate, you can afford it because this defense is so strong. And when you have a good defensive back, your front four are allowed to. You can blitz more. It just opens up a whole different side of a whole playbook if your secondary is good. And I have no doubt this might be like the first, second, or third ranked passing defense in the league, like somewhere up there. They're so stacked.
CJGJ is like an interesting subject for me because as an Eagle fan, you hear all the bad things and why we got rid of him and how we're actually going to be better without him. All I know is when he was on the defense, like in the last the 2 times he was in the last 3 years, you could tell the difference. There's a different attitude. There's a tone setter. Yeah, he's off the rails, crazy. And sometimes you're like, what the hell are you doing, CJ? But sometimes you need that guy. And I think I was listening to D'Amico Ryans talk about him in a press conference today. And I think D'Amico, as a player, understands him and knows how to use him and that kind of leadership in the locker room. I think that's going to be a home run. The guy's won a Super Bowl. I mean, he's been at least a Pro Bowl caliber and borderline All-Pro type talent at his best in the NFL. And but all that being said about the secondary, they had the top sack duo last year with Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson.
Yeah.
And so like just
stacked.
I mean, front to back, this defense is going to be a massive, massive strength. And just off the top of your head, I mean, could you think of a better defense in the AFC?
In the AFC?
The Broncos have a good one, but we're not as deep. The Texans have we're a top 3 defense. Talking about
oh my god.
Okay.
It's hard.
That's hilarious.
It's hard to get those pass rushers that are good, like 1-2 like that. Like it's hard to get to pair guys. Like the Crosby doesn't have a guy on the on their side. Trey Hendrickson, one of the best ones, doesn't have another guy. It's hard to find a 1-2. That's what sets them apart, really. So, yeah, it's an incredible unit.
I love the Daniel Hunter, Will Anderson. You just can't. You got to pick your poison. And
really.
One guy one-on-one, and then those guys are insane. Daniel Hunter came in last year. He's a 10-year. I think he's a 10-year vet, but he got 12 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Like you just came in, instant impact, right? D'Amico Ryans. You kind of know D'Amico Ryans from his SF days. He's always gonna put the guys in the right spot. Right?
Yeah.
It didn't matter that Saleh left. They still had the rock solid defense coming in. Granted, he had great players, but I think he's shown as a coach, he knows how to get the best out of his defense.
Yeah, there's that one clip from his first year. Remember, it was for the Christian Harris linebacker. He told him, "Go to the flat. You're gonna pick." And the next play, he's like, "He got to pick."
Oh,
he's an incredible.
In the playoffs, right?
Yeah. He's just an incredible head coach, defensive mind head coach. I want to see. I like what he's done. I want to see him have more, playoff, wins. But yeah, he's a slam dunk head coach hire. Like, and this defense about to be rock and roll next year. I can't wait to see it.
How good does the offense need to be, really, if this defense is everything we think it is? Like, how good does CJ Stroud even have to be? Like Derek mentioned in the beginning of CJ Stroud's career, they kind of less is more with CJ Stroud, like made a lot of decisions for him and kind of gave him simple reads and throws. Maybe you go back to something like that and just, hey, protect the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think so though. In the AFC, you got some stat
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
You gotta outscore teams too, right? Like your defense is gonna hold, but you're gonna have to push the envelope, right? It's different than the NFC. NFC is like the quarterbacks are a little bit shakier, but in the AFC you got Mahomes, you got Burrow, Allen, Lamar. So you
Bo
want to go through those
Nix.
four. Yeah, I said
Yeah,
those
Bo
four.
Nix.
Um,
Yeah, Bo
Bo
Nix. Yeah,
Nix,
well, always
definitely
because
a
of Bo
top
Nix.
15
I don't
guy.
understand it.
so you have to at least go through those four, right? And that's where you want to be. So you're gonna have to outscore. You're gonna have to push the envelope
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah, do you think they
Um,
have the weapons to get in a shootout, in like a playoff shootout? That's
yeah.
tough. Because
Healthy
It
Nico
depends how those
Collins.
rookies are. I mean, Nico Collins, if he
yeah,
can stay healthy, right? He
Yeah,
hasn't had like a fully healthy year, but the way he started last year,
incredible.
just insane. Like
right.
he had
Yeah,
all the tools.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, and just that rookie year, the way he ended with CJ Stroud as
Yeah,
well, and how he started last year, it's just like that guy could be one of the best in the league. He's
For sure.
enormous, and he's he runs like a freaking gazelle. I think they've done enough around him, and they can figure out the backfield. Yeah, I think they have enough. Offensive line, confidence that it's going to gel together and be good enough to not be the reason they lose, and I think that's all that we're hoping for this year. Just don't be the reason we lose. Just be good enough so we can run an offense.
I'm not too confident. You're relying on rookies to be good and veterans to get the fountain of
Turn
like
back the
youth
clock.
treatment. Yeah, it's. I
it's
don't
gonna
have a lot
be
of confidence. If so, they're gonna need one of these guys to have a breakout year, and I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
you're gonna take your lumps for sure. Like you
yeah,
said,
that's
you're gonna
that's
take
the
the
one part of
lumps.
this team I just hate it. It's not. It's just a glaring like hole in this like on this roster.
And Jarrett kind of said he's going to hold and wait up on this question. So I ask you, Ange, are you seeing a bounce back year with CJ Stroud under Nick Cali?
Yeah, last year was yeah. I have confidence in him. He's not. I have I watched a lot of Stroud rookie year, and it's more just a confidence thing. And then last year he was so jittery in the pocket. You're hoping that this year they kind of just do wide, those zone runs, play action, keep it simple. Yeah, I expect to bounce back. I don't think he's gonna do it for 40 touchdowns, but I think he'll have a respectable touchdown and interception ratio. And yeah, I have confidence that he'll be a bounce back candidate for sure.
So rookie year, he goes 4,100 yards, 23 and 5, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Year two, he goes 3,700, 20 and 12. So what
Yeah.
are you thinking? Like 30 touchdowns?
It's just I don't the other who's the second leading pass catcher in this thing? How many touchdowns is he catching? It's gonna be interesting. Like New Collins, I'll give him 10 plus touchdowns out the gate. Besides that, I'm not sure. So maybe 30, probably 30, but not much higher than that if he reaches 30.
I like him a little more than you do, I think. We've kind of really switched on that.
Well, no, I just don't. I believe in him. It's just the playmakers gotta. It's a lot of rookies and Christian Kirk that I gotta rely on for touchdowns.
Derek, is Houston one of the best teams in one of the elite teams in the AFC now?
They're not elite. We can't put elite. Like I mentioned those. Well, maybe not the Bengals, but you got the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bills. Those are the elite class, right? The
Yeah.
Texans are where Texans want to get there. They haven't shown it yet at all.
Yeah, tier 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to be. Like I think they're going to be and yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. They haven't done it yet, so we got to see it first. But I think this is the year if I were going to make a call for like a team that's really going to make that jump, I think it's much more likely the Texans make that jump than like teams in a similar position like the Packers or the Commanders or like those teams are kind of right the outside of the elite teams in their conference. I think the Texans are the ones I put my money on. Just with that defense and this quarterback and this head coach and a couple of other things that are like really really good, like Nico Collins and stuff like that. I think this team is going to be. I could see them being better than the Bills.
Okay, I'll put it this way. They could have beat the Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
All right. Like in the playoffs, right?
Yep.
They had the two roughing the passer penalties, like
Yep.
just kind of borderline bogus roughing the passer penalties. They lost by 9. It came
They were in that game
they
to the
were
fourth
in
quarter.
most of the game.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
so like I said, they want to be like where the Chiefs are, and they were right there last year. So
Yeah.
it's they're not far.
I'll say this: I think they're better than the Chiefs this year.
like record wise, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I gotta look at their schedules, but I think of a lot of the Texans this year. I just think they're going to be one of those teams. I don't know if they have the juice to like go make a Super Bowl run, But
This should
I just
this would
really
be a
like
team I'd be psyched if Tyreek Hill situation goes downhill
it.
in
Ooh,
Miami. He comes over to Houston. This is a nice team for him. Being number 2, New Collins, firepower. This is the one team that you'd really be excited. Tyreek Hill. You really start thinking like they could win a Super Bowl if they get Tyreek Hill and New Collins going during the playoff run. That's hard to stop.
if you could add one thing, I know we need to move off to Texas already, but
So
they're a lot of fun to talk about.
They're the best team in the
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But fellas, if you can add one thing to this team, one player to this team, and make them and that would make them a Super Bowl contender, well, who would it be? I know it's kind of a bogus, concept, but it's fun either way.
I would stick to Tyreek Hill. I'll just go Tyreek Hill still. I just
A receiver.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give them more firepower so the offense can keep up if they get in a shootout, with whoever. Yeah. Defense they're stacked. Offense where they need playmakers.
I don't know about the playmakers. Like I like the playmakers. I would go offensive line. Just I don't even know if he's available, but I would put like Quentin Nelson, some center to like kind of command the line, make the right shifts, make the right reads. I mean, you want to put the thing in CJ Stroud's hands, but then maybe make some shifts at the center position as well. Jason Kelsey, if we were talking about like good centers.
Man, Colts trading their best lineman to the Texans would be insane. That'd be insane. Here, go win a Super Bowl with our best guy. That's crazy.
You don't know what the Colts are gonna do.
Yeah, that's true. You have no idea what they're gonna do.
They did sign Daniel Jones, so we can't trust their judgment.
I mean, what if the Niners go down the toilet this year and they just commit to a full-blown rebuild, and D'Amico Rising calls up his old boy and says, "Hey, Trent Williams needs to be on a Super Bowl contender in this stage of his career. Why don't you ship him over to Houston? We'll throw you some draft picks and call it a day."
Trent Williams seems like a Houston type of individual. Yeah. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Houston, but they got a type.
All right, we'll move on from that.